I call this meeting to order the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders, February 20th, regular meeting. At this time, I'll ask the clerk of the board to call the roll.
Yes, Chairman. Freeholder Garrettson.
Here.
Freeholder Granados.
Here.
Freeholder Hudak.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Palmieri Mudet.
Here.
Freeholder Staton.
Here.
Freeholder Williams.
Here.
Vice Chairman Estrada.
Present.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Present.
Chairman, you have 9 freeholders present.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Will everyone please rise for the prayer and salute to the flag?
The chair humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
Now, the chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2020, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2020 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2020 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. May I have a motion to approve the communications?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Hudak and second by Freeholder Kowalski. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Freeholder Garrettson.
Yes.
Freeholder Granado.
Aye.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmieri Mudet.
Aye.
Freeholder Staton.
Yes.
Freeholder Williams.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Estrada.
Yes.
And Chair Mirabella.
Aye.
Chair, you have 9 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you very much. Now it's my pleasure to call upon the county manager to give a statement regarding the 2020 executive budget. Mr. County Manager.
Thank you, Chairman. Tonight I have presented the 2020 executive budget to the Freeholder Board for review. Union County's economy has continued to grow, and we are once again presenting a strong executive budget that is below cap, maintains the highest bond rating possible, and fully funds Union County's governmental services. We also continue to build on our previous year's fiscal reforms, which saved us millions in this year's budget. In addition, we reduced the county workforce by more than 60 full-time positions, saving the county millions of tax dollars, including the cost of benefits. This year's executive budget is $508 million. This ensures the third year in a row of a 2% or less increase. This year's executive budget covers important governmental programs, including recreational improvements at Matano Park, Warrenaco Park, Cedarbrook Park, and the Watchung Stables. Postage for returning election ballots in the vote-by-mail program so that no one will have to pay for the right to vote. The expansion of the Union County Dispatch Center, and the continuation of the Municipal Infrastructure Grant, the Library Grant, the Hart Grant, and the Union County Means Green Community Gardens Program. The executive budget also supports the initiatives of Freeholder Chairman Alex Miller-Barilla, who announced Union County 2020, Inclusion, Safety, and Outreach. His initiatives are aimed at upgrading the county's public safety infrastructure, supporting entrepreneurship, career development and education, and working for the equal rights and dignity of all Union County residents. I'd like to thank the Freeholder Board, our Finance Director and staff, and all of our directors for their hard work. I look forward to working with the Freeholder Board throughout this year's budgetary process.
Good, very good. Well, thank you, Mr. County Manager. I appreciate that. I know it's a lot of work that goes into this budget. Now you've basically handed it off to Fiscal Chair Granados. We have 3 budget hearings coming up in the next several weeks and over a couple months, and then we will fine-tune the budget and then work towards introduction. So I look forward to that process. County Manager and Chairman Granados. Okay, great. The meeting is now open to the public for the purpose on commenting on resolutions being offered for adoption only. Please come forward, state your name, and please adhere to the 5-minute time limit. Seeing no one wishes to speak, I'll up. Do you guys decide what order it should be in? Did you decide that?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, New Jersey. On the page 2, number 185, this is one, you're paying for some parking spots at what's that, 28 Prince Street, which is a couple of doors down from the Division of Social Services. It's just that this works out to about $20,000 a year that you're gonna be paying, whatever this building is, for their spots behind the building. I did look at the map. Something sounds, you couldn't have argued down the price, $20,000 for these spots. But the question is actually, who's gonna be parking in these spots? I would assume the social services employees are gonna be parking there, and therefore the residents of the county can be parking right at the social services building. And from what I understand, I think there's a taxi company that works out of that social service building, and they have spots. Is that true? I would like confirmation. And are they parking and paying for those parking spots at the social services? That's the question. Number 191 on the next page, live life virtually. I heard Director Anderson explain about, creating an avatar. This seems to be brand new. And looking into it, it actually it comes down to it's ex-Freeholder Jala's company. The phone numbers are the same as Jala and Jala, the law firm. So I guess he's running it right out of the same desk that he's running his law firm out of. But I mean, I'm just wondering, why are you doing this? How did this come about? I'd like an explanation, because I mean, we're talking about an ex-freeholder now making an extra $27,000 for some special service that probably is not even proven. So, number 194 on that, on the same page, it looks like Voter Accessibility Advisory Board. There's a couple of names in there that piqued my interest. Robert Polidor is being appointed, and he's a public member. But from what I understand, isn't Robert Polidor actually part of the Union County government? So he's not a public member, he's a government member. So I don't think he should be considered that, and he should be replaced with somebody from the public. Same thing with Richard Barry. I remember him back, I don't know, it had to be 7, 8 years ago. He and his wife, this is the same Richard Barry, he and his wife were arrested for serving alcohol to minors, and I don't know how much trouble he got into. But I don't know, if that's the same Richard Barry, I'm gonna have to question the quality of these people that you're appointing. The next one down, 195, which is Landscape Solutions, $40,000 for maintenance of small county areas. It may be efficient, I don't know, but my question here is, I mean, why can't the DPW, I mean, I'm sure we got more than a whole bunch of people that can cut these small areas. I can't see why you're spending an extra $40,000 of our taxpayer money. It should be the DPW doing that. Page 4, number 199. Magic Touch Construction, a 2-year contract not to exceed $131,000 for plumbing services. And again, we do have plumbing people on the staff. I mean, I would like you to explain why the DPW can't do these plumbing services. What's so special about them? I was a master plumber for like almost 20 years, and I mean, I understand plumbing. Maybe it is beyond the scope of what the DPW people can do. Number 205 on page 5, that's the guardrails, 9.26 miles of guardrails. Boy, that's a lot of miles. But anyway, $1 million is going to cost to replace. $240,000 for design and I guess overseeing the project. That's a wow number. I mean, the design, it has to be lifted up 1 foot, $10,000 tops. That's it. Lift it up 1 foot. But I guess the next question is the guardrail. Are these actually Chair Marabella did mention this to recycle a metal, but I mean, does that mean we actually have to buy all new guardrails? Why can't we use the existing guardrails? 9 miles of guardrails, if that's new, it's gonna be $1 million as an estimate. 209 on that same page. This I talked about last time. You're increasing the appropriation to Renone Coughlin Mincello, which is a law firm, $15,000 to $35,000. And I mentioned Coughlin obviously is
Mr. Patterson, I'm afraid your time is up. Can you just finish your sentence, please?
Okay, Coughlin, you know, is the legislator, the head legislator there down there in Trenton. And they donate $26,000 to the freeholders and their cronies.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Patterson. All right, let's move on to the questions. Director Anderson, can you please come forward and work through a few of these? 185 being the first.
So that 28 Prince Street pays for 26 parking spaces for social services employees at $65 per space per month. At the social services building, we have about 347 employees, and there's not ample parking spaces. So we do pay for 3 different parking lots for our staff. So,
We've been doing that for a number of years, too.
Yes.
Decades, probably.
decades, and this lease hasn't been increased for the past 4.
Okay, good. And I'm sure there's not a taxi company operating out of there.
No, Chair. There is
Thank you,
not.
though. I just wanted to verify that. Go on to, if you can, 191.
Sure. The Live Life Virtually is an innovative project for workforce development. It was we were looking for innovative projects, and this was one. It does go through a process we went through. We vetted, we made sure that this was something that our youth would benefit from before moving forward. It's for youth development, financial literacy, life skills training, and education. And it's, again, if you're dealing with out-of-school youth, to look at their journey through life, this would be beneficial.
Good, very, very good, Director. I know you vetted that product very well, and, you know, we're going to see how well it works, and we feel good about it.
Right, it's a pilot, so
Okay.
we'll see.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you. 194, I'm going to ask the county manager to comment.
Thank you, Chairman. They are actually, the names are recommended by Nicole Dorado from the Board of Elections. Unfortunately, Nicole's not here tonight to answer specific questions, but these are the people who actually go out and do the ADA inspections of the polling places, so it makes sense they would be on the board.
Okay, very good. Thank you, county
You're
manager.
welcome, Chairman.
195, I'll call on Director Zuber. Unless Director Graziano wants to help. He could help. Go ahead, Zuber.
This actually, as Mr. Patterson stated, this actually is more efficient. A lot of these properties are in neighborhoods. They're smaller pieces of property. Our crews are set up that they're on the road most of the day anyway, going from park to park. So we've got people cutting property we own on Stanley Avenue in Summit, on Chestnut Street in Union. We take care of the property at the Juvenile Detention Center. Smaller parks, McConnell Park in Cranford, which is a small park right in the middle of the neighborhood. So this is efficient. It keeps our guys in the parks.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you, Director Graziano. Can you come forward, please, 195? No, sorry, 199.
Freeholder, through you, the first question was regarding Magic Touch Plumbing. This is for any outside services that we use. This is a not-to-exceed number we're extending on the original contract of $131,000 for the last 2 years. We only spent $65,000 on the last contract, so this is over and above. And yes, we do have on-staff plumbers, but as this board knows, we have over 2 million square foot of space that we maintain with our facilities department, plus all the parks buildings. So this is for anything outside any emergent situations that happen.
Okay, very good, Director. Thank you. And if you could come on 205,
Sure, I'd be
the guardrail.
Yeah. The question, I believe, was, can I just raise them up a little bit? No, I believe we can't do that. I have to have them designed as per the state state certifications. Whatever the state has us do, we're going to have to do that. Obviously, we're going to try and keep the cost down as much as possible, and we're going to try and get as much grant money as possible on that. I'd just like to comment also on Debbie Ann Anderson's with the parking. That's only $3.25 a day per space, which is a pretty good rate that we get, and I know that we've negotiated that rate over the years. And just like she said, those rates have not gone up
It's
at
been
all.
flat for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Chairman.
Appreciate it. All right, anyone else wishing to speak? Please come forward. On agenda items. You don't get too anxious there, Charlotte. We're waiting for you. Anyone else? All right, I'll close that portion of the meeting and may I have a motion to adopt resolutions 220-178 through 220-221.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Williams and seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Freeholder Garrettson.
Yes.
Freeholder Granados.
I'll abstain on 2020-184 and aye to the rest.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye to all.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmieri Muedad.
Aye to all.
Freeholder Staton.
Yes to all.
Freeholder Williams.
Aye to all.
Vice Chairman Estrada.
Yes.
And Chairman Mirabella.
Aye to all.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative with all resolutions, with the exception of Resolution 2020-224. You have 8 votes in the affirmative with 1 abstention.
Very good, thank you, Mr. Clerk. I'd like to open the meeting to the public for the purpose of commenting on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of Union County. Charlotte, this is your cue.
Good evening.
I have a
I'm
funny
very-
feeling what you're going to speak
Okay.
about, but I'll be patient and wait.
Okay, all right. I'm going to be very brief because, it's always the KISS principle. You understand my agenda. I want to thank very much the chairperson. We just discussed it, that he would be open to suggestions for grants for trap, return, and neuter. I'm very excited about that because at least he's making the approach that he wants to make a difference. And I'm in agreement with him. This should be only seed money. This is not the county's level. You're just showing the others, hey, you've got to get a little skin in the game. Each Cranford, Elizabeth, each town and city has to take care of their own community cats. And they should be going for the various grants too for trap, return, and neuter. So I'm on the same page as everybody here. I don't think, the county should take it all. That's what Essex did, the same thing. They only gave $25,000, but it was a grant with the Humane Society, and that's what I'm expecting from you guys, really seriously. And at the same token, you're gonna need a professional trapper. The only reason why I say that, animal control, they have other issues sometimes, they can't handle it. These cats, if they go to the mobile unit, they must be there. Otherwise, it's a waste of time for the vet and everybody else. Where we get that, and you can get a grant for them. So that's another plus. So I appreciate everything you're listening to me. It is a real problem, but working together. This is a team effort. Teams achieve more. I believe you're the winning team because you're trying to make a difference in Union County and even with the community cats. And I do appreciate you. And as to all the cats, communities say, the top cat is the chairperson, the other top cat is the co-chairperson, Angel, because that's why his name is Angel, and meow, meow. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Charlotte. And, I appreciate you handing this out to the freeholders and the county manager. And if there's a way to get a link to this, perhaps we can have it on our information vehicle and hand it out at different public events and help people spread the word. That's one way to help. And we asked you to be creative in your approach as far as how do we contribute to this. And you came up with these grants. And I think that's exactly what we were looking for. So I appreciate your help sharing this information. The county manager has it. I know all the freeholders have it now, and we're going to see the best we can do to get some grants. So thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Hi.
Hi, good evening. I'm Marjorie Fox. I'm the council president in Summit, and I would like to thank the freeholders for passing budgets under the 2% cap for the past 2 years and for the promise of a third year under cap. Summit's Common Council has been working very hard to keep our municipal budget as lean as possible. We'll be coming in under the 2% cap as well, and so will our Board of Education. And we view this as a partnership, and we appreciate all your hard work. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Council President Fox. It's been a regular dialogue with the city of Summit, and you're continuing that dialogue, and we've heard you. Started several years ago to do our best, and we have been always doing our best from a budget standpoint, and we're lucky that we have the creative minds here to be able to produce a budget, at least propose it from the county manager to the freeholders to be in a position to then take it from there. So I think we're starting out at a really strong position right now, and maybe we can even make it better. We'll see. But thank you for your comments as usual. Appreciate it, and best to the rest of the council members and the mayor up at Summit.
Thank
Okay, anyone else wishing to speak, please come forward.
Yeah, John Burry of Kenilworth. Couple of little things. First, on that abstention, there is no resolution 224 on my sketch thing, so I don't know what's being abstained to. But what I wanted to get into was the that Janus Solutions Community Needs Assessment. First, I mean, you could answer this later. I mean, they mentioned a 2.5-hour presentation. I don't know if that's open to the public or what it is.
It is,
Yeah, it is. It's not.
It is open to the public. It's next week. I don't know the exact date, though. I don't have it.
It's here, or?
Pardon me?
I'm pulling it up right now.
26th. Thanks.
Okay.
Where is it?
9 a.m.
Okay. Mr. Barry, hope that helps.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Building it can.
Senate. Oh, all right.
STEM.
It's a possibility. Refreshments? I'm just curious.
I'll get you some coffee.
It's a water fountain there.
All right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. It seems like the main community need, if you were to poll like about 90% of the people, is property taxes. Lower property taxes, that is. Union County is like top 10 practically every year in property taxes. Now, this could be a conflict of interest from the Janus Solutions people, because going through the check registry, plus with what they're billing for this, they've gotten about $250,000 out of the county. But that's really where the focus should be. And this new budget, which it says under the cap, which I guess you have to be under the cap. But there are two counties that announced, Morris and Passaic, that there would be no tax increase. So, and there might be others coming in, but 2% under the cap when you're getting rid of 60 people, it could probably be a lot better. But is the executive budget going to be online, or is it here, or anything to review? Or what is the increase, the tax increase? It's just mentioned under 2%, but what's the dollar increase? If you can answer that.
Well, it's not been finalized yet, so there's no real dollar amount at this point. But do you know when the budget hearings are set? Maybe we can make that announcement.
Top of my head, it's March 4th, March 12th, and March 18th. March 4th would be held at 6 o'clock at the Cranford Community Center, Cranford Council Chambers.
Yep.
March 12th would be held at the VoTech building, 6 o'clock as well. The VoTech building would be the executive board room.
Yep.
And March 18th is held at also 6 o'clock at the Rawley City Hall Council Chambers.
Very good. Very impressed with that, Jimmy.
If I may, as well, you are correct, member of the audience is correct. I did announce the wrong resolution number. The resolution number that Freeholder abstained from was, for the record, was 2020-183. So, suppose I have to get my hearing checked. So I apologize for that.
I'll take back the credit I just gave you for knowing when the budget meetings were, so you'll have to have it neutral for tonight, but thank you. All right, do you have any other announcements, Mr. Clerk, or we're all set?
Outside of the fact that I believe I have 2 or 3 executive budgets available for the public at this moment, and I certainly will have them put online. And as I need more, I certainly can make them available to the public.
All right, very good. Anyone else wishing to speak before I close that portion of the meeting?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson Garwood. I think the last meeting I was mentioning about there was some kind of hacking at the county at the end of last year. I was just wondering, is there actually a report on whatever was hacked? Because, I mean, this is serious if data had actually gotten out of the county servers and such. So, I mean, I'd like to hear about that. It's very scary, if anything. The Janus presentation, I appreciate him glossing over it, although I couldn't read those little small words on the screen. But anyway, yeah, one of them is affordable housing. And I'm on this executive committee, Citizens for Improving Affordable Housing, and it's really a bunch of residents throughout the state. And yes, we need affordable housing. I mean, that's a fact. But the problem that we're facing, and I'm sure all of you know that these developments are going up, is that the affordable housing, it's like a small amount of affordable housing and a huge amount of luxury rate housing. I mean, Garwood, they're building 300 units and only 30 is affordable housing, so that's like 10%. The rule of thumb is generally about 15%. It really should be a lot higher. I mean, what they're really doing is building luxury rate housing everywhere, not affordable housing. And that's a major issue. I don't know what the freeholders can do, but maybe you can advocate saying that possibly there should be more affordable housing as a percentage of these developments. Because like I said, the rule of thumb is about 15% affordable housing. It should really be about 20%, 25%. It's just all we're doing is building market rate, luxury units. And sure, let's toss in a couple of affordable housing units. It's a shame. It's a shame what the state's doing. The legislators have turned a blind eye to it too. They're dumped it in the courts. I guess the next question, last meeting also the Janus presentation was brought up as a resolution. I think it was like $11,000 or whatever it was for the presentation. But my question is actually what spurred this on that we actually needed Janus to come out and do surveys and such, to find whatever information they found, and they did some presentation, and of course this 2.5 hour presentation. I don't know if somebody could just really explain that. And lastly, and I brought this up at the last meeting about the OPMA, and not that I really want to make meetings longer, but the agenda setting meeting, I said, really is an open public forum meeting, and the public should be speaking. Your counselor Barry actually mentioned that it's a caucus, but looking at the NJSA 10.4-7, I mean, it does mention caucus, but it actually mentions partisan caucuses are an exception. So I mean, this is not a partisan caucus. This is where you're doing the people's business in this agenda setting meeting. And if you go on and look at NJSA 10-4-8, they have definitions of what a meeting is, what a public business is, and what adequate notice is. And this agenda setting meeting meets all three of them. I mean, to all intent and purposes, it's a public meeting, and there should be a public speaking portion. And that's where NJSA 10-4-12 comes in, where it should be, the public should be allowed to speak. So there's an issue here. It's not just a caucus that's the exception, it's a partisan caucus. So, and then, the budget's now out in the public. I'm going to get my copy and look at it. And I'll reserve a lot of my comments over the next couple of meetings. I'm sure you'll hear me talking about the budget as I do every year. So, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Patterson. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is like, I think, 2 meetings in a row that I agree with something that you said. And it actually has to do with affordable housing. I mean, that's been an issue with municipalities dealing with that for a long time, as far as how that process works. And you said a 10% number, but it is really closer to a 15% to 20%, but it's really a local Garwood issue as far as the Garwood thing. There's nothing that the freeholders can do to influence that. It's up to the municipality to negotiate with fair share housing and to come up with an agreement that works for them to remedy their builders' remedies lawsuits that were out there. So you have to take that up, or maybe the cows are out of the barn as far as that's concerned with Garwood at least, but that really is a local issue for the percentage of the total amount of units that are built. I also agree that it's more of a state-wide issue. They should have provided guidance to all of the counties. They left it up to individual counties, and it was a struggle at best to work through that process. So anyway, for what that's worth. Anyone else wishing to speak? All right, I'll close that portion of the meeting, and we will go on to Freeholder Reports. I will start with Freeholder Garrettson.
Great. Good evening and thank you. I just wanted to share, the county manager and I participated on a NJAC call. Just wanted to share with the freeholders that NJAC has now broken into regional clusters, so to speak. So we are Union County. We are working now with Hunterdon, Mercer, Middlesex, Monmouth, Somerset. There'll be 2 meetings during the course of this year. So I just wanted to share March 24th, October 20th. Those meetings, so I'll definitely be actively engaged and make sure that any updates I'll be sharing with the freeholders. The second item I want to share is just we have been actively engaged in a lot of census conversations. I want to thank the leadership under Amy. She's been terrific, just updating myself and several freeholders so we can be very clear on what the process and programs are going on in some of our municipalities. And finally, I just want to end to congratulate everyone involved in the Union County Means Business Networking of Breakfast, myself, Freeholder Staton, the chairman, and I think that's all of us. And my good county manager were able to attend. It was a wonderful program. It was about leadership, but more importantly, it was some wonderful folks in the room who really benefited from that conversation. So I wanted to just recognize everyone involved in that. Thank you, Charlotte, as always, for your good words tonight. Congratulations for another good year, my colleague, Freeholder Hudak. Happy birthday. And those are my comments for this evening. Thank you.
Yeah, and before we move on, the Union County Means Business was a terrific event. I agree with you, Freeholder. And Tony Chapman, who was the guest speaker, was somebody who really did a nice job as far as being there and presenting a terrific message. And I give the Deputy County Manager and Dina Maceros a lot of credit for pulling that together. It's been a terrific program. I know the Vice Chairman also participated, so I want to thank him for being there as well. And,
Yes, he did.
and thank
Sorry.
you for those comments. It's a wonderful program. It continues to live very well.
You guys sat on the other side, so yes, Vice Chairman. Sorry.
Maybe I was blocking the Vice Chairman from you, so sorry
You're
about
blocking
that.
him. You're blocking him.
It's all right.
Freeholder Staton.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I just have a few brief announcements about the recycling events in Union County. With the 50th anniversary of Earth Day coming up this spring, I would like to remind everyone that the county's free series of recycling events begin next month. As in past years, we are offering free secure paper shredding for personal documents at various sites around the county every month all the way through November. The first shredding event will take place on Saturday, March 28th at the Union County Votech School campus in Scotch Plains. Our first household hazard waste event of the season will take place on April 4th, and that will also be held at Votech. The complete schedule is available on the county's website, along with information on other recycling opportunities supported by Union County. You can also call the recycling hotline at 908-654-9889 or download the free Recycle Coach app for mobile devices to stay up to date on all of our recycling programs. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Mudded.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening. On February 11th, I had the pleasure of visiting Overlook Medical Center in Summit to congratulate them on their recognition as one of the 50 best hospitals in America, according to the research firm HealthGrades. HealthGrades is known as the leading online resource for information about physicians and hospitals, and they surveyed almost 4,500 hospitals nationwide. They placed Overlook Medical Center in the top 5% of hospitals for neurosciences, cranial neurosurgery, general surgery, and critical care, among other categories. I have to mention, and I mentioned this at that event, I became very familiar with Overlook at the beginning of January when my father-in-law was brought there, who is a 50-year practicing physician and surgeon, was brought there with a very complicated and critical case, and the nurses and doctors and staff of the ICU at Overlook Hospital saved his life twice. And I'm happy to report that he is now at a rehab facility associated with the hospital after a over 40-day stay in the ICU. So
Nice.
I'm very happy about that personally. and really want to, on behalf of the Freeholder Board and myself and my family, Freeholder Estrada was there with me, want to congratulate all of the professionals at Overlook Hospital who saved his life and treated us as family members with such care and consideration as well. So it's a really fantastic place to have in the county. I'm so grateful that we have Overlook here in Union County. I'd also like to wish Freeholder Hudak a happy birthday. And with that, I'm done with my comments.
Very good. Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Granados.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to start off by wishing Freeholder Hudak happy birthday. That's it for that. I'll start right at the beginning with you, Freeholder Hudak. Second, I'd like to invite families who have children with special needs and disabilities to lace up your skates. It's run through our Office of People with Special Needs and Disabilities, and it's going to be held on February 29th. It's always definitely a great event every single year. You see families come out, kids come out, and definitely all have a great time together and be inclusive. For more information on that, please visit our website at ucnj.org or contact the Office for Persons with Disabilities and Special Needs at 908-527-4807. I also want to mention of our budget hearings and how it's great how this Freeholder Board came together alongside our county manager in making sure our budget hearings are held across the County of Union. It's not held in one location, but held throughout the County of Union, making sure that our residents who want to attend our public budget hearings are able to do so. So definitely commend the board on that. And last but not least, I want to congratulate Chairman Mirabella yesterday for being honored by Groundwork Elizabeth for his tremendous leadership. Look at that. That's number one right there.
Thank you, Charlotte.
His tremendous leadership in not only the County of Union, the City of Elizabeth, but making sure that everyone has opportunities to growing vegetables and being active in their community when it comes to gardening. So thank you, Chair, for that.
Thank you.
leadership.
Thank you.
And with that said, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Williams. Are you not ready?
Writing up a few more comments. I hope all of your honors are being recognized. Yes, thank you, Chairman. I have just a few things. One is I want to acknowledge Dr. Harold Yude, the former Director of Medicine at the former Muhlenberg Hospital, Muhlenberg Regional Medical Center. He just celebrated his 100th birthday, and he is one of Plainfield's premier bloggers at 100 years old. The other thing that I wanted to note was that this past Tuesday, on behalf of the board, I presented a resolution to Walter Young III, who is a junior at Plainfield High School, and he's an Air Force Junior ROTC cadet. He's been flying since the age of 12, and he recently won a U.S. Air Force private pilot scholarship to attend a flight academy. It's a scholarship in the amount of over $20,000. He's a real hero to his peers in Plainfield, and he really is a credit, not just to our city, but to the entire county. And I brought greetings on behalf of the board, and we congratulate Walter. The other thing I wanted to say is upcoming, we have on Tuesday, February 25th, at 6:30 p.m., the county will host a presentation and panel discussion covering New Jersey's new streamlined confirmatory adoption law, and there will be a discussion of other LGBTQ concerns. We know that adoption is a complicated issue, and we welcome the opportunity to help our residents understand their rights under the law. This event will be held at Hamilton Stage, 360 Hamilton Street in Rahway. Seating is limited and pre-registration is required online. So if you go to ucnj.org/LGBTQ, you can sign up. So please do so. That ends my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Kowalski.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to take a moment to congratulate our 2020 Women of Excellence honorees. As you may know, Women of Excellence Award Program began 28 years ago as a collaboration of the Freeholder Board and the Union County Commission on the Status of Women, with the goal of raising awareness about the many different ways that women are involved in daily life in our community. And our awardees represent the impact of women in every sphere of life, from business and legal affairs to public service and education. This year we will be honoring Margot Baruch of Mountainside, Joyce Benz of Springfield, Joan Kraut of Westfield, Marion Glenn of Summit, Monica Consalves of Elizabeth, Sister Percy Lee Hart of Scotch Plains, Pamela Palmieri of Fanwood, Diana Pinto Gomez of Fanwood, Nancy Polo of Scotch Plains, and Clara Fernandez of Elizabeth. So these women will be honored at our dinner on March 27th. And if you'd like more information and would like to attend the event, please contact Nancy Malta at 908-527-4298. We also have an exhibit in the hallway here that you may have noticed. We call it the Freeholder Gallery, but there are blown-up photographs of African American women of note in recent history, including Eleanor Holmes Norton, Maya Angelou, Zora Neale Hurston, a number of other women. I encourage you to have a look if you haven't had a chance to have a look yet. And we always make an effort around Union County to showcase our history and our artistic contributions. And I want to thank everyone involved in our observations of African American History Month. All of the freeholders attended events which I thought were excellent events, and particularly at UC PAC, where we honored Councilman Brown. Most of us were there. That was a wonderful event, and the play was quite inspiring as well. And I wasn't able to get to the lunch and learn, but that Freeholder Garrettson organized. But I understand that was a very successful event as well. So thanks to all involved, and that's it for me, Chairman.
Okay. Thank you very much, Freeholder Hudak.
Chairman, in honor of my birthday, I'm going to bank my time.
Very good, Freeholder.
Thank you.
Vice Chairman Estrada.
I do want to take the first opportunity to wish a happy birthday to my brother next door here, Freeholder Hudak. May the world bring him many, many happiness, many years to come. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to recognize my colleague from Elizabeth, Freeholder Granados, for being recognized by the NAREP, which stands for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals of Union County and Essex County, which on the 13th of February recognized Sergio. And the award which he received, he says, this award recognizes Union County freeholder Sergio Granados for his leadership as well as his commitment to the citizens of Union County. And we thank you for your continued and effective oversight to our community. That's on February 13th, 2020. This is an organization that's is representative of people who are real estate professionals, both in Essex and Union. Congratulations. This is only the beginning. You got plenty of opportunities for more. And from all of us, we thank you. And the rest of my time I will bank. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Vice Chairman. Just a couple of notes from me. A quick reminder that UC Means Green Community Garden Grant Program is now accepting applications for the 2020 growing season. This board is very proud to support the community garden movement with this grant application, continuing our support over many, many years. The gardens provide recreation, education, therapy, and community service opportunities for residents of all ages and abilities. And of course, they provide benefits of fresh, locally grown produce. I mean, many of us across Union County have participated in these community gardens, and the kids dig in, which are community gardens and in schools, and that's been particularly rewarding. Freeholder Granados deserves a lot of credit for that. Brainstorm of several years ago, that's continued to this day. So very nice and a terrific. So keep your eyes out for that grant, and if you're in the market for that, please submit one. The deadline to apply is March 27th, so there's a little bit of time. For more information on the county website, ucnj.org, /garden grants. Look for that. Also, for community leaders interested in HIV and AIDS advocacy, this Freeholder Board is partnering with the Hyacinth Foundation to present Leadership Hyacinth, a 2-day training session on May 18th and 19th. The course is part of the initiatives we set forth this year to support the global campaign to address HIV/AIDS without stigma or judgment. Seating is limited, so please save the date and plan ahead to reserve a spot. For more information and to pre-register, please visit the county's office at LGBTQ Affairs online at ucnj.org/LGBTQ. And my last comment, and I'm actually not going to wish Freeholder Hudak a happy birthday. Rather, I'm going to save all wishes and direct them to the following week's activities, which I think will be important for him. So good luck, Freeholder, as you move forward in the next couple of weeks. We'll be thinking about you. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.